What is up, tubers? Tio here, Simplistic Fishing, back at you to continue our lake breakdown series for Lake Eufaula out in Oklahoma, or what we might call Eufaula Lake. We are finally on the end of our offshore breakdown for the east section of this lake. Tonight we're going to cover all those for you. We got some good stuff to go through. Let's see what we found. Here we are back on the Navionics mobile app, mobile boating app. And really what we're going to do is we're just going to jump in where we ended last time. Now, if you missed the first videos, basically we started up here at the dam and we talked about all these different waypoints that were in here. If I zoom in, you're going to see them all. We went all the way through there, all the way up to the north, came back and ended at that waypoint. Then the next video, we went all the way through all of these. All the way up to here, and we ended at this waypoint right here. So that's where we're going to start at tonight, and then we're just going to keep moving our way up the north and east side until we hit basically the highway over there. And once we do that, we'll start working our way south and back towards the dam. So let's zoom in here and let's just see what we can find. Remember last time when we ended right here, we really picked this spot because of the creek channel, right? You can see the creek channel coming down right here and slamming up against that area right in there. There's probably some debris, there could be some rock, there could be some laydowns. It's just going to be a really good spot, really high percentage area to really locate some fish. So let's keep moving back from there. As we move back in here, I didn't see a ton back in here. There's a couple spots that we did pick. Someone's got a spot right here that says that there's a ledge there, so I could see how there could possibly be one there, but I don't see it on Navionics, so I didn't mark it for you guys, but did like this spot back in here. If you look at this, it's got a nice little spot that comes back, almost like a little ledge going on right here. It's very shallow and then drops to about 12 feet, and it's right there by the edge of that dock. So go check that out. This point could be interesting as well. And then as we move back in here, this is where it gets all kinds of craziness. If you look in here, that says hump, rocks. So really I'm thinking just right here in this area, there must be a lot of rocks right around this creek bed. Something's definitely going on here. And then obviously you see over here too, you've got markers over here that are on the edges of this creek bed as well. So this creek bed is clearly an active creek bed, and definitely something that you need to be scanning around and working around and really paying attention to every time it turns and stuff like that, looking in those areas. You know, even coming up here and looking where this creek bed comes underneath these docks. These two docks could be primo docks. These docks could even come into play as well because they're right on the edge of that creek channel. Let's go ahead and just move that up here and show it to you guys. And of course here again, you can see another fish marker. Also looks like there's a Oklahoma fish pile there, facility there maybe, or something like that, but someone's got a marker there for a fishing facility, so you could check that out as well. All right, let's zoom back and show you where I'm at. So I'm up here in this little arm. I went off to the right. Now we're gonna zoom up here. We're gonna go up to the north. And as we work our way up here, you know, there's some points, there's a lot of different things where people have put some stuff on there, but let's just focus really on the markers that I put in here for you. The next one's going to be right out here, and I think this one's pretty cool because it's not as obvious, right? It's a really good looking hump. It comes up to 16 foot, drops off to 20 on this side. Just really good looking because it also has this nice creek channel that's out here to the side of it. But that one looks good. They didn't mark that one. They marked the points, but they didn't mark the hump. Also, as you move over here, we get up in here, starting to get a little bit shallower, right? 10 foot, but man, that looks like a really good point right here. If you look at this, it's got a nice flat top on it. There's a lot going on the screen right now, but nice flat top going on it. Good little ledge like right in here. A good little creek bed. I mean, this is nice big flat that comes out off the top of that point that actually comes out here and meets where two creek beds intersect. You got all this jazz going on over here, which I don't guess these are all rocks as well on top of this big point. So if I zoom this out, you're going to notice this is a huge flat and that point kind of comes all the way out here. And as you get right in here, this is where you get into a lot of the rocks. You got these creek beds going on. You got points. I mean, this little area looks really, really good. This area right here, and then that area we talked about just a minute ago where all those other rocks were, that's some really good looking offshore stuff. It's not too deep. It's somewhere where you could go out. You could really, get some confidence from an offshore perspective, for being able to find fish easily, and you're off the bank, you're out there in the middle. So definitely these spots, especially if you're new to offshore fishing and you're fishing Eufaula Lake, I would say go to these 2 spots we just talked about, because they're going to be probably some of the most highest percentage areas that we've looked at so far. All right, so let's keep moving back in here. As we get back in here, another decent little ledge that's going on right there. You're going to kind of pay attention to that creek channel though, and although we didn't mark them, obviously we can't mark every single offshore spot for you, but when we mark something, try to kind of match that up. When you're looking here, if you notice this creek channel coming over here, these could be some good spots right in here too, like right here, right where it starts to make this turn, or as it comes down here and it starts to make this big turn right in here. This could be a really good spot right in that spot. Also up here, obviously where we have it marked, where the creek bed comes in, it's basically a creek channel swing, so it's swinging up against the bank. That's going to be a good spot there as well. So both of those areas look really good. Let's keep moving up here and see what else we got up here. We got a couple ponds. There's a pond here, a pond here. You guys heard me talk a lot about ponds before. If you haven't watched my videos, I talk about them all the time, but really good spot to go find fish basically in the summertime. So always want to go look at those pond dams. As we move up here, we've also got another little spot that looks interesting where the creek bed may swing up and hit right there. So mark that for you. I don't think we have anything else up there. Coming down, really just focusing on really that creek bed, right? And all the things that creek bed's doing. There's a really cool spot. This little point here, it's kind of hard to tell because the contours get all jacked up, but this should be a really good point, especially with that creek bed being off the side of it. And then it looks like you have some kind of a ledge or something going on right here in this area as well. So I've got that marked over here. This marina, basically, if you look at this marina, it sets up just perfect, because if you follow this little dotted line that's right here, this is a creek bed, and it's literally going directly underneath this entire marina. So that marina is going to be juice. And then also right here inside of this marina, in this big break that you have right here, you've got a nice little point going on. So all kinds of good stuff right in that spot. Now let's keep moving on down. We're going to move around the point. I'm going to zoom back out and show you where I'm at now. So I'm over here. This is Highway 75 or 69, whatever you want to call it. But as we come out across of here, let's go see what else we can find out here before we get to the highway. We're going to get way out Main Lake right in here. Here again, you got a nice little hump here at 15 feet. This one's not very big either. It's a pretty small little hump. But look at this, 15 feet to 45 feet, 30-foot drop right in that little area right there. If you don't find them here, you may want to get out here too and kind of look out here around the main river channel and see if you can find them up here on these flats or hanging close to those river channels. Another spot here, obviously big, river channel swing, big old river bend right here. And that's going to create a nice little ledge going on right in here. That looks really good. Got that marked for you guys as well. Over here, you've got another decent little hump that's up here. You can see it comes up to a really high spot, 18 feet, but mainly just that ledge. I mean, that ledge looks really, really sharp. Moving over here, you've got some submerged bridges you could check out. You've got another pond that's over here. This pond actually has a roadbed in it, which looks really interesting. Then, of course, you got these little humps that are out here. You got another one that's out here, another one right here, and then you've got the big breaks off to the sides of them. So anyways, I'd say scanning in this whole area is definitely going to be, interesting to look at. You got some deeper waters. This is probably going to be, summer, wintertime thing, but these are going to be good spots to go look at. And then if you can't find them out here, follow that creek bed back in and see if you can find them maybe right in here. It gets really tight right in there. So maybe they're right in this little section, or maybe they're where it makes the next turn. So just go look at all those different spots, working your way in on that creek bed, which is basically what we're going to do now, since we already covered those out there. And we're just basically looking to see what else we have up in here. This is a pond right in here. Another really good, sharp little cut in right here. So you got a nice little ledge that's right there. If I zoom in here, you'll see it a little bit better. Then also, if coming over here, you got another little turn that's going on, right? So you got this little creek channel swing or a bend. a bend coming right here, and then right off the bend, you've got a big old hump that's right here. It's 17 feet, so 17 feet to 36 feet. Plus, on the other side of that hump, you've got a road bed, you got a creek bed, you got an old pond that's here, you got a little point that sticks out right in here too. So maybe not just focusing right there where that point is, or where that marker is, but focusing in on kind of that general area, because there's definitely going to be something there. It's got a lot of things that set up to make that look like a really productive area. So let's go ahead and go up here. We're going to go to the farthest northern spot we can get over here on this side of Highway 69. As we get up in here, really just looking at a couple things right here where these turns are. You've got a nice little spot right here, and then another spot right here as this creek bed swings over. It's really touching these docks, and right in there is going to be a really good spot to go look at as well. So let's zoom back out. We're now over here by Highway 69. As we get out here, just a couple things I want to show you. One is you've got this road bed that's out here, plus you've got this little point that comes out here too. So this area right in here, that could be a really good spot to go look at. I love how it sets up, especially if that road bed's still there and it's got some rock or something like that in it. That's still going to be good. That's going to be good as well. And then over here where you see this point, this is really what we talk about a lot. It's like wherever it gets really, really deep, and then it starts to gradually come up right there at that spot, right where it just gradually starts to come up. Those are always great places to go look, and that's basically what you see that we have marked right there in that section. So let's move on down. And again, we're going to talk about this side in another video. Right now we're just focused on the Eufaula east side. So we come down here, we've got some more marks. We've got all kinds of offshore stuff on this lake. It's crazy, but nice hump out here, good road bed. Here's a nice little turn in right there too. So all kinds of good stuff going on right there. Right in here, you've got another pond. So you've got that marked. You got more ponds over here. And then out here, when you get off this little, I guess I'm going to say it's a huge, like giant flat that comes out, right? So it's a 10-foot flat. But inside of that flat, you've got some really unique things that are going on here. And really, they're just little humps that are coming on. So right here, you've got 10 foot to 14 foot, 10 foot to however deep this is on this side, 18 foot. So you've got a nice little hump that's right there. You got another one that's right there as well. You've got that road bed that we just looked at. You could check that out. And then of course, as you get over here and you get more towards this riprap, you're gonna wanna fish wherever that creek bed comes in. And that's gonna be right there where we have that little marker there for you guys. So let's zoom on down here. So here again, here's Highway 69 if you're wondering where I'm at. Now we just went down 69, now we're gonna be right here in this area. And as we get out here, I'm gonna have to kind of move back and forth because we got some stuff that's pretty deep out here, but check this spot right here. This looks really good as well. So you've got a little bitty underwater hump, comes up to about 20 foot, comes at 25 foot right here. You've got the main river channel right here. And you've also got a creek bed on this side too. So this could be a productive area. Looks like it could be a productive area for sure. Moving back in here, you're really just got these little ledges from these little creek beds. So you've got one right here. And then over in this area, you've got where the creek bed actually turns right in here. You zoom in here and you'll see it. So you can basically see right there where that creek bed turns. That is going to be a good little area to go check out as well. Then let's go move over here. We're going to get off a little bit further over here, close to where that river channel is. It's up here, but as we come down from that, if you look right in here, we've got another little hump that's out here as well. This one only comes up about a foot, 2 foot, maybe from the overall, bottom of the lake here, but it's just enough to bring it up. And then also right off the side of it, you've got a pond, an old pond that's there as well that goes down to 22 foot. So you've got some pretty good break there, 5, 6 foot that you could be dealing with. So that could be a potential area as well. Let's move back here. Let's stay off here to as close as we can to the highway for right now. But as we get here, we've got another, basically this creek bed comes in here and it swings up against this point, and this point just looks really good. You got this point that's here, you've got a pond, you got creek beds that are converging here too. A lot of good things going on right here on that point. So let me zoom back. You'll see that's the Eufaula Cove Marina. So I'm gonna pull back and just show you where that's at. So this is 69. We started way up there, we worked our way up, and now we're over here at that marina, wherever that marina is. Now I've lost the marina, so the marina is right here. So let's move over to see what else we can find. I think we talked about this one, but again, another little hump that's out here. That's the one's at 15 foot. And again, it's really close to that river channel, so that's going to make it a higher percentage area for sure. Then we're going to move down here, come across the point here. I didn't put a marker here, but you may want to check out this point, especially with those two creek beds kind of merging together into that intersection there and then being together on that point. There's nothing special about that point when you look at it from a contour perspective. Don't see anything crazy here, but definitely something to look at. Another spot you may also want to look at would be like right in here. This little point comes up pretty high and has a nice little flat top on it. Also says it has some seaweed or something like that on the top of it. I don't know if it does or not, but could be a good spot to look. Now let's go down here. This is mainly a pretty deep wall, right? We're getting into some pretty deep stuff. It's dropping off pretty fast, but all these little cuts and these little points are going to be great places to look. So like this little cut right here, this little point that's right here as well, that point right there. That point actually looks even more productive just because if you look at it, it's got the creek bed coming through here as well. It's also got a pond that's very close to it. But this point right here with that creek bed, that could make it a higher percentage area too. And then you move down here, you just look at these little cut-ins. When you look at this cut-in, as you come in, obviously you want to look out here off the edge of the point. But also here you've got another point right where we put this marker. So I'm thinking like right in here could be a really good spot to go look at. But again, if you don't find them here, then come out and look here off the edge of this point, you know, at 15 foot. See if you can find anything out in that spot. They should be somewhere in that area. That looks like a good area for them to hang out. Now we're going to fall back here. We're actually made it all the way down to the bridge down here, which I can't remember which highway that was. I always get confused. I think it was 19 or something like that. But we're going to get down to the bridge and we're going to take a cut over. And actually these should be, actually we'll go down. We'll just talk about these really quick. But as we come down here, if we get underneath the bridge, basically we just got some really good points. We've got one right there. So, oops, sorry about that. Got another good little area right in here. And look at this nice little pinch point that's going on here with these two little points. Another good ledge area right here with a nice big flat behind it. Really love how that spot sets up. I could see them up here feeding and then hanging out here during the day and then munching for sure. And then moving over here, we've got some pretty good points too. We've got a nice little hump that's out here. A real good saddle is right there too. And let's check out this little hump though. It comes out. Has a 12 foot on top and then really breaks down 30 something foot. You've got a nice point that's over here too that we marked for you guys. This, you know, again, if we're just doing areas, doing a whole scanning this entire area is going to be a great place to probably be able to locate something at most times of the year because it just sets up really, really good. All right, so let's get back up here to Highway 19, see what else we can find before we get there. Got an old pond here or something like that, but if you look here, we've got a decent little ledge, and then this is kind of the edge of that point that comes out where it drops off onto that pond. You've got another little interesting little point that comes out right in here, too, that you could look at. This spot right in here, just it's heavy timber, so maybe that's what it is that you can't get back in there with all those trees, but I'd definitely go and look at that. Got some good-looking stuff here. It comes up to a foot here and then breaks off to 15. Just an interesting little pocket that's creating there. And then now we're up here by the highway. I don't even know if it's Highway 19. Can't remember. But anyways, we're going to call it that for this video. Right here, if you look here in this area, this looks interesting. I'm not sure what this is and why the contours are so messed up here. But you've got a creek bed that's close by, and you've got a really high little hump here. It says it comes up to 6 feet. So you've got this nice little hump that's right here as well. That could be a productive area. Let's keep moving over. We're going to get right in here. Now we've made it past that highway, and we're going to start working our way back up towards the dam. As we get out here, another good point. Good little creek bed to come in through here where this point actually intersects with those. So really like that spot. And then of course, these docks back here, this dock is setting on a creek bed, which makes it awesome. And then this dock is just kind of lonesome all by itself. But if you look at it, it's got a nice little point that's right here beside it. So making both of those some very productive docks. So I'm going to zoom back and show you guys where I am. We're going to start working our way back, like I said, towards the dam. We're going to get back in here. We talked about those docks, but I forgot to show you guys this spot right here. Oh, no, I didn't. So we talked about that point. My apologies. So let's keep moving on. Now we're going to get back into this area right in here. We're really just following this creek bed back, But as we get in here, there's some pretty good stuff. Obviously, there's a lot of fishing going on in here because we've got a lot of markers again. But look out here off of this big, huge flat that's out here, and you've got a pretty good ledge that's going on here too. So you can always check out this spot right in here. And that's going to take some scanning because they can be anywhere, wherever that starts to touch that. But you just kind of scan down the side of this and just see if you can locate anything there. Then I'm going to move down. Next thing is obviously going to be right in here. We've got a good creek channel swing going on right here, swinging up against these docks. There's probably some brush piles or something like that. We got those marked. Also out here, you notice this little point that comes out here. Gets really skinny. This looks like it could be really good from an offshore standpoint. Really good drop on this side. You've got an old pond probably that's right in here. May even have a little pond dam action going on right in this spot. There's a lot of good stuff going on right here in this cove. As we move down further, we're going to get down here. We get off that point. I'm going to come back to that point because I'm going to have to stay on this side or I'm going to get myself confused. But let's go down here and let's just see what else we have down in here. Now this spot in here, again, another spot that has quite a few different things going on here. So right here, you've got a pond dam, but also on that pond dam, you've got some really good breaks that are going on here that's outside the edge of this point. So I love this point. It's got a really big break here. Look at that, right off to the edge to that river channel. So right in there could be good, but also over in here, this pond dam could be good. Back in here, you've got a little point that comes out right before it gets really deep. And then you got this point here that looks really productive, just looking at how steep it is and just the way that everything sets up. So I love how that sets up, and that's just to the north of the bridge there. So we're gonna move our way over now to this side, see what else we can find. We got the river channel here connecting to a point, so that one looks good. As we get a little bit further out here, we got another little hump. If we zoom in, you'll see it. So 17 foot to 33 foot. So this lake has tons of these little humps that are out here. Then we're going to switch over to the other side. Cutting out here, really good little ledge here with an inside. That's kind of the inside of where that little point is right here. So really just the point or really the inside of that point, but right in here could be a productive area. Got a nice little point that comes out right on that spot. You've got another good point here that has a really good break, real sharp break. Also out here, we talked about that hump, so we'll skip that. Moving over here, we've also got this road bed that's over here. And it's really starting to get, it's really steep and then it's gradually starting to come over. So again, it's one of those spots where it's starting to taper off. And then you also have some additional cover there because you have the road as well. This point can be productive too, depending on, how they're setting up. It's got a really good drop as well. Nice little rounded point that's going on right there. Moving on up, we've got these docks that we marked for you guys. Obviously, there's some brush piles, some deep docks, but I love these docks because they are so deep. They're 12 foot, and then right behind them, you've got a nice little spawning flat for them to go into. So I can see these being really good docks. We've also got a good point that comes out here that you want to go check out. And then here we talked about those river channel swings going right into those docks. We talked about that when we came in. I don't think there's anything else here in this area. So I'm going to zoom back out, kind of show you where I'm at. So we went into this pocket. Now we're going to work our way back up there. Let's have a check on the time, just kind of see how we're doing. I think we're going to be okay. I don't know if we're going to make it to the dam or not, but we're going to try. So let's beat this thing out. Let's just go ahead and get her done. So as we get up here, we've got basically where the river bend starts to swing up here. We've got a nice little bluff wall, so you can check those out. As we move on up, make sure I don't get lost here. As we move on up, we get into here. We've got another good little point that comes out here. I love this point that's right here, but there's also a nice little ledge going on right there where we have that marker as well. Then we're going to move up. We're going to see kind of the same thing right in here, just some really good ledges that are going on right here on the outside edges of these. These actually say humps, but I don't see the humps. So I'm going to have to check that one out and see if our markers got messed up or what's going on there. But anyways, you're definitely going to want to check out just any of that area and do some scanning because it could be a really productive area. Let's drop back behind there though, see what else we can find. We got some good docks, nice little creek bed coming off that dock. Also same thing, the edge of this point's really steep and then it goes out and starts to basically, taper off. So those inside corners can be really good corners as well. You got another little point here that's behind this dock, and if you look at it, it's got some good creek beds, but this point could be a really good spot to go look at for sure. So we've got that marked for you. It's kind of hidden back in there too. It's pretty neat. Moving on over, we talked about those two docks. Let's keep moving. We also have this right here. Again, everybody's saying deep docks, so docks must definitely come into play on Eufaula. You know, I never even thought about it being a dock lake because it's just so giant. There's so much water to cover, but you've got a lot of good docks in a lot of different areas, and a lot of the locals are out here putting these markers on there saying that they're good docks. So you definitely want to go check them out. We got a marker here for these docks as well. As we move down, just some more docks you want to check out, but then right here, not sure what's going on here, but a really good looking little point that comes out at about 9 feet, and then it breaks off to 18 feet. So really like how that sets up. It's right there by the mile marker. You've got some really good cut-ins that are right here as well. Another really deep dock. That dock may be on the outside edge, yeah, 20-something feet deep. And what I really like about that dock is there's no other docks really around it. You know, you got these two docks, and that's it. And that one's just kind of all out there all by itself, and it's very close to the main river channel that's out there. So let's zoom back, show you where I'm at. We're kind of getting back out here into the main lake side. As we get down in here, we've got some creek channel, creek beds that are coming in here, which is interesting. But right here, we also have a nice little hump. And this hump is what, at 23 foot? And then it breaks off to 49 foot out there. So that's interesting. We've got some more humps here, some really good points to fish around. I'm going to try to go a little bit faster because I know we're going to be pinched on time here. But again, creek bed, good little ledge there. Good creek bed out here as well that you could go check out. Moving on up, we've got these little points that we've been talking about. Actually, it's not. I thought those were those little points, and it's not. So let's take a look at it. So we got the creek bed that comes back here. This dock all alone with the creek bed really close to it. Oh man, that just looks like it's going to have to be a productive dock. It has to be. Also over here, check out this ledge that's being created. That looks interesting, and definitely something that you'd want to go fish around. We also got another isolated dock that's out here. These are deeper docks, so you'll definitely want to fish all of these docks. I guess if you're going to Eufaula, you better get ready to fish docks, at least if you're fishing in this area that we talked about today, because there are a lot of good docks that are out there. You got a good hump that's out here as well at 5 foot. I'm going to zoom back right here before I lose you guys. I know I'm going pretty fast, so here I am now. This is where I'm at on the map, and we're just going to keep working our way down. Let's see what else we can find right in here. So we've got those docks that we just talked about, that hump. We got more docks. Imagine that. Deep docks. Everybody's deep docks, deep docks. Good offshore spot right there. More deep docks right in here, so you definitely want to go look at all of those. A lot of action going on right in here. A lot of people marking stuff. So anytime you see that, those are usually hot areas to go look at. We've also got some more stuff going on here. We've got a good little point that's out here. Also off the edge of this point, you've got a creek bed coming out here. So I'd say just scan that entire point right in here and see what you can find. That's probably not going to be the highest percentage stuff that we've been looking at, but it definitely has potential, especially with this being so deep and then kind of tapering back off to that spot. Moving down here, we got some interesting stuff. Check out this little point down here. This point comes out 3 foot and then just kind of tapers off. That could be a good spot to look at. And then it has like another little ledge right in there. Also, if you're looking right in here, you may also want to look right here where this creek bed gets really close to this point right here. And then if you look even closer, it actually goes right underneath that dock that's right there. All right, let's zoom back out. Let's see what else we can find. So we're out here. We're in Main Lake now. So now we're going to go down here. We're going to get into this little cove that's back here. Wouldn't even say little because it's pretty good. We got a pretty good point right here. Nice flat top. Nice little point right there as well that you could go check out. Even right here, you know, you could look here where this little creek bed is. That could have some potential as well. We get out here, there's actually an island down here. And so just outside the island could be productive, but there's actually a couple spots here. I'm gonna go ahead and just show them for you. But looking in here in this saddle, and then also over here off of this point, 13 feet all the way down to 36 foot. So you can look out here too. So if you're scanning the island, you can't find them on the island, just move a little bit north and scan right in here and see if you can find them here or actually while you're going north, just kind of zigzag this way and see if you can find anything here in the saddle as well. They're somewhere in that area for sure. We're going to move down here, see what else we can find down in this spot. As we get down right in here, we've got basically another little point. This point looks interesting though, very sharp drop. It's got a road bed on both sides of it. It's got a nice little flat top here, but then a nice sharp drop. Again, guys, this is going to be a spot where you're going to have to do some scanning, because if you look out here, you've got another hump that's out here too. So they could be out here, they could be in the saddle there, they could be up here off the point, they could be anywhere. But basically just scan in a big, zigzag pattern all the way through here until you can locate them, or at least locate the bait fish. And once you do that, you'll usually be able to locate the fish. All right, so let's move back. Let's go on up here, see what else we can find out in these areas. Another good point that comes out here right off the edge. Love how that one sets up. Good point here as well. See what else we can find back in here. As we get back into this very back pocket, just the creek beds, taking a look at the creek beds, getting out in the middle, looking at those intersections. You got these creek beds here as well. So we've got those marked for you. Right here, if you look, the creek bed kind of starts to swing up against this point, so that point's going to be a very productive point. Look at the drop that that point has, 7 foot to 21 foot, or to 24 foot. So huge drop, 17-foot drop just right there, right off the edge of that point. Also, moving up here, we've got another little what appears to be a pond dam or something going on in here, but you definitely want to look right there in that spot where you marked. There's also a nice little drop right there, so real steep part of that bank line right there when everything else really isn't like that. So that makes it definitely a higher percentage spot. Then we're going to work our way on out, get more towards the main lake. So we get out here, another good spot to look at. This looks like an old pond dam as well. So Carolina rigging right around in this area, seeing what you can find right in there. Also out here off this point looks good. It's Main Lake Point. It's got a pretty good flat top to it. Creek bed fairly nearby. Not sure what this is. Let's see what this is. Brookin. Not sure what that means, but anyways, go check it out. Looks like it could be a great point. Now, moving on down here, we've just got these creek beds marked for you. So we've got the creek bed here. If you look here, very subtle point, but a good spot to go look at. If you look right here, we've got this little point. It's creating some pretty good contours, and it's coming right up against where that creek bed is. I know that one doesn't look as obvious, but sometimes those are really good spots. We've got another spot right here where this creek bed swings up against this area right here on the side of this point. And if you look right here as well, you've also got a road bed that's really close to there. So that could be a really good area to look, especially off the side of that point. I like how that sets up with that creek bed being there too. Then we just got a few more. We're actually going to finish up the Eufaula East section. I can't believe we've got a full section done. Craziness. But moving down here, some more deeper docks. These docks are really close to the river channel as well, or to the creek channel. Look at all these juicy docks right there. That whole stretch right there is going to be good. We've also got, if you look underneath this dock, you've also got a nice little point that comes out that's hidden underneath there. So you could go fish around that. See if there's anything else back here. I didn't see anything else back here. We've got a fish attractor that's back here. So we got that marked for you. And I believe that was it on that side. We're going to come up and we've got 2 more spots to show you, and we are finished with Eufaula East offshore. So let's take a look at them right now. We've got this little point that comes out here close to this creek bed. Definitely going to look right around in here. That could be a good spot. And then obviously this point coming out here just looks really, really good. I love how it sets up with the creek bed, and it's close to the main lake. All that stuff just makes it look super juicy. So that covers us for Eufaula Lake on the east section. We still have to go back and do the northwest of 69 and the south section as well, but we have now completed the east section, so super happy to have that completed. If you want to, please go out, look at our website, simplisticfishing.com. We have all these waypoints out there for you to where you can basically take them, put them on an SD card, put them into your graph, and off you go. It will change the way you fish. You'll basically have the entire lake broken down for you right there on your graph. Go check it out, simplisticfishing.com. And until next time, guys, I hope you catch your PB. Take it easy.